Hello everyone, welcome again to the YouTube channel where you are going to master cloud and FinOps. Please hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel so you will get the notification for my all upcoming videos. So today we are going to discuss about the FinOps personas and how the team structure should be in any enterprise who is going to start the FinOps journey. So there are in total 6 FinOps personas, which is including the FinOps practitioner as well. So along with FinOps practitioners, there are 5 additional personas, which is inclusive of different stakeholders from the leadership, the product owners, finance, stakeholders from procurement, and engineering team. So under these personas, the different stakeholders will work all together in an organization, and everybody is responsible for the success of FinOps. So each persona may have their own interest. They can have their own viewpoint, own reasons to take the decisions, and own talents and skills. So it is not needed that every talent or every skills should be there in each personas, but based on their day-to-day work, they should have the relevant skills in their ecosystem. So as as per FinOps strategy or FinOps philosophy, everybody is responsible and, to be precise, accountable for the optimum cloud consumption. And without any accurate information, it is not possible. So overall, this team should ensure that appropriate people within the organization have the necessary knowledge or skills so that they can fulfill the job function of their own personas. So now we will start from the executive. So under executive, usually CXO level stakeholders are included, which is inclusive of CEO, CTO, CIO, or CFO. So if we will talk about the responsibility of the executive persona, obviously this persona has to sponsor entire FinOps initiative. Without the sponsorship or without the sponsorship from executives, any organization cannot get the success in the FinOps. The core reason could be like if any of the cloud engineer will go with any recommendation to the application developer or application portfolio for implementing any opportunity or any FinOps initiative, they may get the reluctance from the application portfolio. But if the executives will sponsor the overall FinOps initiative, they are obliged to do this work or these initiatives, right? So the key persona of any FinOps org structure will be always executive, which is inclusive of CEO, who is accountable to ensure that cloud investments are aligned to the overall organizational goal, following with the CTO, who is responsible for adopting the technology which will give the competitive edge in the market against the competitors of the organization. And similar role is aligned to chief information officer as well. Some of the organization have CIO, some will have CTO, so it depends organization to organization. Then CFO, who is prime responsible stakeholder for overall cost of the cloud consumption, not only cloud consumption, other technologies as well, but FinOps point of view, obviously cloud consumption. So they should ensure that effective expenditure is happening across different business units or cost centers who are adopting the FinOps or cloud consumption, to be precise. Now, if we will go on a different other persona, so obviously FinOps practitioner is one of the prime persona and whose job is to ensure that best practices through the standardization or education or encouragements are getting executed in the organization. Then another key persona is the product owner who is responsible to ensure that the latest features or products are introduced to the market so that organization will get the competitive edge against the other competitors or other partners. Engineering team or engineering persona is responsible for delivering the high quality services or product when they are also ensuring the business continuity. So without having any business impact, the new services or the products will be launched and available to the market. The finance is also one of the key persona who is responsible responsibility is to ensure that proper budget and forecasting is there and it is properly documented. Why it is properly documented? Because these numbers will go in the account books, which they need to share with the different regulatories, or to be precise, the stock markets if the organization is listed. So in this way, the finance persona is also having a key role here. And then obviously procurement. So procurement job is very limited in the cloud. So as earlier, the procurement team was responsible for procuring hardware or software, but in cloud it is a different story altogether. Anybody can just click one button and or execute a one command, and then they can procure the services. But for effective FinOps adoption, the procurement job is also involved, and they are responsible to ensure the relationship with the different vendors or partners in relation of the cloud platform. So example is purchasing the reservation or saving plan. Even though the purchase of saving plan or reservation can be done in a cloud console via cloud admin or cloud engineer, but having a discussion with the vendor, if somebody want a negotiated discount at an enterprise level, that can be done via procurement team, not via cloud engineer. Similarly, the reservation and saving plan, in alignment of procurement, the cloud engineer or cloud administrator or FinOps engineer will execute it on ground. Why I'm saying in alignment of procurement? Because they will have a better visibility of funding, cost, or to be precise, budget. So all these personas will be the part of one team, and that team we called it as a FinOps team. So just as a recap, the FinOps practitioner, product owner, engineering, finance, procurement, and executive, all these six different personas will form a unified or centralized FinOps team, which is must for successful FinOps adoption. So these personas you need to remember, because in FinOps practitioner or FinOps engineer certification, you will get few questions around these personas. So it is pretty straightforward, easy to remember. You just need to go through these personas in detail and you need to understand what these personas are doing, so that you will able to correlate whenever the actual work or actual on ground work will come in a picture, that which persona is responsible for what kind of work. So now, as I said, like these different personas will form a FinOps team. So how any enterprise should form a FinOps team? What should be the size of the FinOps team? Under team, which particular role should be included, or which particular personas to be included? Whether all personas are needed, or organization can just choose few of the personas which are relevant for their business. So there are several questions around this fact, right? And these questions may be in your mind. So any organization who want to define the FinOps team, the two key factor, that is complexity of cloud and complexity of organization. These two factors will decide that how we should define the FinOps team, or how organization should define the FinOps team. So there are a couple of basic questions, like who should be in the FinOps team, whether all these roles or few roles only. So example, in any particular organization, maybe CIO doesn't exist, only CTO is there. Similarly, under the procurement team, there are different procurement stakeholders, whether all are needed or few are needed who are only responsible for cloud. So all that decisions we have to take based on the complexity of that organization, right? Similarly, the engineering team, who should be included in the FinOps team, whether Azure cloud team or AWS cloud team or GCP cloud team or on-prem team or data center team who is working to define the strategy for on-prem to cloud migration. So all these questions need to be addressed. Then similarly, the roles, what role we should look for, whether FinOps practitioner, engineer, CTO, CIO, who should be included in the FinOps team. So all these factors again dependent on the organization structure. Then how many people should be included in the FinOps team? It should be 6, 5, or maybe 10. Again, it depends on the complexity of organization and cloud ecosystem. Then whether they should report into a dedicated person in the organization, to be precise finance, or it should be technology, or it should be engineering, where this FinOps team should report. So that is again one key question, and many of the enterprises ask these questions. during their discussion with the partners. So we need to assess these questions case to case basis. One more area is what are the different barriers to the effectiveness, and which is one of the key question which we need to answer while defining the FinOps strategy or FinOps team. So, for example, if one particular organization is having multiple sister concerns or entities, then where this FinOps team should sit, in which organization, whether it should be in the central function or it should be in the entity which is the largest one. So, how the organization is set up, right? One application team of one entity will listen to the FinOps team who is sitting in the other entity? No, right? So where this FinOps team will sit, what are the different challenges in terms of organization structure or cost, or to be precise, the cloud consumption, those all barriers also need to be discussed. So earlier there were FinOps team, usually organizations start with one FinOps practitioner and one FinOps engineers. Now in 2024, it was grown by a significant amount. Now in 2025 also it is expected to be grown. So in 2021 average team size was somewhere 5 to 7 inclusive of FinOps practitioner, cloud engineer, or cloud administrator. But now organizations, when they are adopting cloud on a larger scale, obviously FinOps team size also will grow, and it is anticipated that it will grow by nearly 75 to 80%. So as on date, if current team size is 3 in a organization who is at a crawling stage, and 5 and 9 in the walking or run stage, then it is anticipated that it will grow into 8 stakeholders in the crawling and walking stage. The organization who is mature enough, and obviously who will be fully mature, their FinOps team size will be maybe more. So in that way, any organization or enterprise can define their FinOps team structure and size. There is no fixed baseline. Even if we will go via FinOps Foundation framework, there is no such baseline which will tell any organization that how much team member they should have it in their FinOps team. It's purely on the organization and their complexity with respect to structure as well as cloud consumption or cloud uses. So organizations are free to decide how many team members should be there in the FinOps team, but overall objective is to ensure that everybody is accountable for their cloud consumption so that organization will get the optimum benefit. So I hope you understood the FinOps personas and team structure, how we can define this team, and how we can include all or relevant roles of the FinOps personas in our team structure. In case if you have any further query, feel free to comment it, and do not forget to hit the share and subscribe button so you will get the notification of my all upcoming videos. Till the time, stay tuned. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.